What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at @6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. Peace. Welcome, everybody. Sixth element of hip hop. I am your host, Reno Noir. This is my co-host, Stu Dog and Sata. Welcome, guys. How y'all doing?
Hello. Doing all right.
Good. What's going on?
Better than Black Adam, I hope. Better than DC.
I think a lot of people are doing better than Black Adam right now.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
boy.
Pink. Yeah. It's a tough one because I mean, like me and Stu say all the time, you know, the movie was like fun to watch. The audiences loved it. The people loved it. The fans thought it was fun. Critics were looking more at things like script and writing and acting and stuff like that. That really it didn't quite measure up. So it's tough, man, because it's a good movie, you know, for the most part. But they're trying to, you know, I think, you know, they're trying to reach those insane heights.
And they're dumb. They're dumb for doing that. It's just like, why have those insane goals? And you're just not there yet, and that's okay. But like, recognize that. Don't pour $200 million into a movie for a character like that nobody was really clamoring for. You know, it's just like decisions. They just took like the wrong route with this movie, and it sucks. But you know, it is kind of a flop failure, unfortunately. But it's just it is what it is. So.
Well, just for those who might not know, despite the star power behind it, Black Adam is expected to lose Warner Brothers up to $100 million. Let Dwayne, Johnson tell it that's not the case, but we'll get into that. But Dwayne Johnson led the cast, obviously, in the DC universe as this movie, as Black Adam, exploring his origins and everything and trying to create a new character. Probably should have stuck to the Shazam buzz that was already there and built on that, maybe. But nearly 2 months after the film hit theaters, Variety has debuted a new report analyzing Black Adam's box office performance. And despite setting a new opening weekend record for Dwayne Johnson personally, the DCU film is expected to lose Warner Brothers up to $100 million, with sources indicating the studio spent somewhere between $80 to $100 million on marketing alone. And I'm like, where'd that go? Because it wasn't all that great of a marketing campaign. But when paired with its estimated $200 million production budget, necessitated the film to bring in at least $600 million worldwide to break even. And at the time of writing that article with Variety, Black Adam had come to the end of its theatrical run with just over $384 million grossed. But why is it losing money is the question, considering the international draw that The Rock tends to bring to his movies. It may come as a surprise to learn that Black Adam is expected to lose so much money at the box office. But one of the bigger elements seemingly holding the film back is its review. With it currently sitting at 39% approval rating from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, making it the worst reviewed installment in the DCU since the theatrical cut of the Justice League in 2017, which is not accurate. It's not the worst movie DC's ever done by a long shot. But with Black Adam also being a lesser known comic book name, for those unfamiliar with DC, relying squarely on the draw of Johnson in the title role, and Pierce Brosnan, who's not all that hot right now, didn't help matters any further. But the other bigger hurdle that Black Adam had to overcome in its box office run was its competition and time of release. Bad move, just coming out just over the week ahead of Halloween, and an odd choice for a superhero film. And it's just a week after Halloween ends, a more in-season release. But even after escaping the season of Halloween, the DCU film had to face off against the MCU's Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, which was just it's like come on, it's like putting Muhammad Ali against.
They made a mockery of their entire theatrical run in in a weekend. So it just,
Yeah.
I don't know why they decided to keep the release date there. Like
They
that was
could have,
just not
yeah,
smart. I feel like they
exactly.
could have pushed it, made it a summer release, or like I don't know. That feels like a summer movie, and that would get
Yeah,
people to see it again and again and again, and that just didn't happen. Like you said,
yeah.
odd release, like right after, like or right before Halloween. So yeah,
And and Black Adam, or sorry, Black Panther, already had this huge groundswell behind it, for its early acclaim. Obviously, the
right.
first one, was a huge, and then the tribute to Chadwick Boseman. I mean, there was just no competition, and it did unseat Black Adam from the top box office spot in the fourth weekend. Though The Rock has been very open about his love for both films, denying any rivalry existing between the two. And while there might not have been, you're it's business. I mean, math. I mean, common sense. You know what I'm saying? But this, I think the bigger issue here is, a lot of us, myself, I know Stu, and like a lot of us that are big fans of Black Adam specifically as the character. And this is bad news, because this is probably, no sequel coming. You know what I mean? Like, definitely, and we'll get into the Cavill thing. Like, a lot of stuff's not happening now, so this is bad news, for a lot of us. With the film having lost so much money at the box office, a lot are sure, to begin wondering how the financial losses will affect, the character going, going forward. And The Rock and his producing partner, Hiram Garcia, have frequently stated plans for the character to continue in the franchise, namely to have him face off against Henry Cavill's Superman, which was his big goal. And that would have been cool, but I think, Shazam already had a buzz. You probably should have just rode that for a second and then graduated to Superman, instead of trying to jump to it with an unknown character, just on the strength of being The Rock alone. But, with these astronomical numbers, that's not going to be enough. And with New Warner, but now you've got, the CEO David Zaslav watching the studio finances, and $100 million loss could definitely prove problematic for The Rock coming back. But with the new DC studio heads James Gunn and Peter Safran developing their, whole new thing, they're talking about a lot of this stuff not even figuring in to their future, to what they're looking, down the road, for DC period. So, that could be a good thing. I mean, James Gunn, his whole idea, just revamping it all, just the you know what I'm saying, just everything that we've seen so far. Let's just start from scratch. And because trying to trying to build off the shaky foundations of the crap that's already there, you're never gonna have complete success, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, as far as Black Adam, I mean, I think the big issue was they put all of their eggs in one basket, that being The Rock. And while he has that draw, I mean, it's more so as a personality and not more so as an actor slash like movie star. Because like when you see his solo movies, um, like when it's just him, like when he's the star, it's not bringing in the numbers compared to if he's in an ensemble. And I'm surprised during the marketing they didn't focus on that. They didn't really pump up the JSA. They more so just pumped up the action scenes and how Black Adam's powerhouse. So it was weird. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Stu? You've been oddly quiet.
Hey, I'm just letting y'all. I already know it. I already know what the problem is. I'm just letting
what's
y'all
the what's the
iron
what's
it
the
out.
problem?
It's,
I
it's
mean,
about to be
we
2023, and I'm just going with what's real from now on, from 2023. I mean, basically, James Gunn was put in charge. He's going to reset. I don't know if you watch any sports, Sada, but anybody out there that's watching, when you watch sports and a football team gets a new head coach, what's the first thing they do? They bring in all their people. They get rid of all the other people that were there, and they bring in all their people. So right now, James Gunn and I forget the other guy that's in charge. That's what they're
Safran,
doing.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of all the people that was there, and they're bringing all their people, and they're going to give you their vision of this DCEU. Now we do know for a fact that it might not affect. Well, we don't know how much it's going to affect Wonder Woman and Superman and Black
yeah, they
Adam, but
scrapped
they say
they
Black
scrapped the
Adam's done.
Wonder
They say
Woman.
Black Adam. Yeah, Wonder Woman was supposedly be scrapped, but from what I heard, and this is the word on the street, um, they're gonna redo it, but they want to recast. And
I'm fine
Yeah,
they
with
could
yeah.
still use the actors that are already there, but we got to see. So, and you're right. You
that.
guys are right about everything you said. I mean, it's just in flux. It's sad
Yeah.
because we waited so long for another Superman movie. And
It's
we talked about it
yeah.
on this show. Like, how
How
long ago
many
we just
times
talked about it?
I said
Right.
I'll
Like,
believe it when I see a trailer, and
right.
we ain't gonna see
Right.
it.
And everybody now
Mhm.
they're gonna move forward with this Flash movie. And the word on the street, once again. Uh if they boot we'll know if they boot Henry Cavill when this Flash movie that has
Yeah.
to come out is going to come out. He did a scene for this movie. If his scene is cut from the movie, people are saying that we know he's out. So now we got to see the Flash movie because now we want to know. We want to know if
Well,
Henry got the boot or not.
This is
they said
crazy.
yeah, they said Warner Brothers is totally moving away from the old DCEU and all that
Yep.
came with it. And the new DCU under James Gunn and Peter Safran will start from scratch, but they're not going to
Yes.
mess with Matt Reeves' Batman. That's
Yeah,
going to
that's the only
stay
thing that's
alone.
safe.
But in a nutshell, from a new
But
exclusive article from the Hollywood Reporter, Wonder Woman 3 dead, Black Adam sequel not going to happen. New Superman film with Cavill is unlikely, highly. Aquaman 2 is Jason Momoa's last turn as the King of Atlantis, but he could play Lobo in a future DC film, which by James Gunn, which could be cool. And then Matt Reeves, the Batman universe, is being left alone. And this comes as no surprise, obviously, as me, to me personally, as a total restart, of the new connected DCU under Gunn and Safran has been the scuttlebutt that I've been hearing for the last, several weeks. And frankly, a total clean slate for DC is probably the best, the best medicine right now.
Yeah, I don't
I don't I
know.
don't I don't really think it is. I think if it was me, I agree with one thing, starting it over, but I do not agree with the recasting. I would literally keep the cast the way it is because
I mean, I want him to
people are
keep
familiar with
Cavill.
those.
I
Right?
think
Yeah,
keep
people are familiar
everyone
with
but
those
Wonder
faces.
Woman. Whoever
They not.
Gal Gadot, you can get rid of her.
Yeah.
But everyone else keep.
I mean, Gal Gadot, I couldn't
Well,
really care one way or
well,
the
you
other.
know what? A lot of people feel the same way you guys do because they say, and a lot of people behind the scenes feel the same way because they say, she's kind of hard to work with. They can't
Oh,
understand her accent.
oh,
Uh,
it's
they
not.
say that she no, she has like a I don't know, she's on her own schedule. Like you have to do things on her schedule. Remember, she had a baby. That's why the other movie got held up so long. It's just a lot. They say it's a lot to work with her. Um, the first Wonder Woman movie was so great that when the second one came around, they're like, "Look, we got to deal with all this again." And then you want to make a third movie, and we'll deal with that again. So, a lot of them are saying that she won't learn English. She won't work on her English and things like that. I like the accent because it
Yeah,
makes
I
it
don't
seem
mind
like
the
she's from
accent.
somewhere else,
She
right?
just can't
Yeah, it
act.
makes
So
right, and they right, and it's not just the fans; it's people behind the scenes. They're saying
yeah.
the same thing.
Mm.
They're actually saying it. They're like, "Look, it ain't just. There's a lot of things going on with her." So
Yeah, and then you have
we
Jenkins. You gave her full reins in that second movie, and it was awful. Like she has never understood Wonder Woman as a character. So I'm okay with her vision being scrapped because we already saw part one of it, and we didn't like it. So it's okay. We can
Yeah.
do without that.
well,
So
like I said, the
Well,
word on the street is this: if we'll know if Henry Cavill got the axe, if he's in this Flash movie. If he ain't in
yeah.
this
And
Flash movie, and they did
speaking
reshoot
of the
his scenes,
Flash movie, they're pulling it. They're pulling the Flash movie forward because after erasing all over the release schedule, DC and Warner Brothers have now actually pulled the Flash movie forward in their calendar. I think it's like June 16th next year is now a week earlier than what they were gonna do, June 23rd. I don't know why moving it up a week it does anything, I think they should just fucking show the thing tomorrow for all I care, because it's like, who cares at this point? But
Yeah.
the
I mean,
shift
I
if we
still
gives.
don't
couldn't get
believe we're
Batgirl,
seeing this movie.
if we couldn't
Stamp,
get
stamp,
Batgirl,
stamp.
Hey, I
If we couldn't
mean,
get Batgirl, and I gotta stoop to go into the web to watch Batgirl, come on, man. You're
yeah,
right. We should
and
have
the
got
move now
Flash already,
places
man.
this move now places the Flash in direct competition with Disney Pixar's Elemental, which also releases June 16th. So it's an odd, again, DC weird, but box office pundits have noted like a shift to place the hero spectacle up against Pixar's original is a sign of the shifting approach to theatrical, where studios, would once have run scared of a summer Pixar property dropping, but now they enter the box office fray unafraid to challenge the lamp, the old lamp. But
Challenge the lamp, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
But
think it'd
Reno,
be
keep
fine
it.
against
I'm gonna keep it a
Elemental.
buck.
I
I'm gonna
think it'll
keep
be
it a buck with both of y'all. I'm gonna keep this a buck. For some reason, Warner Brothers Discovery. I don't even say Discovery. Warner Brothers is proud of this Flash movie. They want this movie to go forward. Like
Yeah, I
for
don't know what it
whatever
is.
odd reason,
I think it's
they
their
got
money. I think
everything. They got
just too much
everything
money.
banking on Flash.
And they
Yeah, you
really
think that's
think
what
that
it is?
this movie, well, they think this movie's going to somehow get them that money back, or at least, it's like, well, at least we might as well try. But I think this release date move is probably the least controversial thing about the movie, which has been plagued by all kinds of shit with, Ezra Miller and everything, restraining orders, all that shit. And then it followed a slew of, his weird behavior and all that shit. But the controversies resulted in crisis talks at Warner Brothers, with the actor meeting Warner Brothers execs back in August to find a way to save the movie. That's they just want to save this movie, and Miller, Ezra, he was part of that original lineup. You know what I'm saying? The Affleck's Batman, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Jason Momoa, and all of that. But he's also from Suicide Squad. He made went on to appear in Whedon's and Zack Snyder's, which is all getting trashed, and the DC cinematic universe is currently in a state of flux until Gunn gets it and restarts it. But he's the cancellation of Wonder Woman 3 and rumors that Jason Momoa is probably going to be recast as Lobo and all of that. You can pretty much bet on that shit.
But we know
I'm
Wonder
fine
Woman
with that.
3.
I feel
Well,
like he
like I
fits
said,
way
yeah.
better as
Yeah,
Lobo, so I don't
Yeah.
have a
me too.
What I
do
heard
too.
about what I heard about Wonder Woman 3 is they don't like the script. And the
Yeah,
script
that's
was
what I heard
done like
too.
a couple weeks ago. And they
Gunn
don't
said
like
that,
it.
that the
And
script doesn't fit in his plans for
right,
DC.
it doesn't
And
fit
they
in his
say, I
plans.
think
They
reports
don't
were
like
saying they
it.
gave Jenkins an opportunity to rewrite it, but she was like, no.
Right.
So
Yeah, Patty Jenkins. Yeah. No.
I don't
So,
know.
Yeah. And that's great
yeah.
because we don't want to listen, hand it over hand it over to
I'll
DC.
be back in
Let
like
them
20.
give you hand it over to DC. Let them give you a story, and then you make a script out of it. Look, they did it with Ant-Man. The first Ant-Man movie was written by Marvel writers. The whole storyline for the first Ant-Man movie was written by Marvel writers, and they just adapted the screenplay to it. The Marvel writers were bragging about it. They were like, "Oh, we wrote that story, and it was great." I can't lie and say it wasn't. Ant-Man was great. Nobody expected to be, and it came from left field. We were like,
It
"Yo, where
did.
did?"
It was kind of
Yeah,
a sleeper
and
hit. It really was.
it really was. And people tell you they love the Ant-Man movie. That first Ant-Man, they love it. Second one was good too. But the Marvel writers at Marvel, they wrote that script. They wrote that. They wrote that story, and they just adapted the script. But for James Gunn, I take my hat out to him. He's going to try to make something out of the DCEU. Um, and that's going to be it. And so whatever we get is what we get. I mean, I can see him recasting some people, but Superman, you can't recast him.
Yeah, no.
It's too much.
Yeah. I think Cavill is fine. That's probably false. Like dead false. He literally it would be crazy if he literally left The Witcher to come back to this because he truly loves this character, only for them to be like, well, he got different plans. So I don't think that's true. I think he's fine.
Nah, I would listen. I was in those digital streets, Sada, and I was really looking. And like I said, from what I heard, if he's in this Flash movie, he's in. But if he's out, then he's out. But they did say And this is what they did say. They said, but that might not totally be true. But they said that'll be a big sign. They did say that they wanted to reboot Superman because they wanted to explore some more of his origins, and that's why they wanted to just start from scratch with Superman.
Oh boy.
I heard that Affleck is in, and the Batman is going to be his own separate entity, but it's going to
Good.
be good. They're going to make another The Batman or Batman, and they said that it's just its own separate entity. It has nothing to do with some type of ongoing story like we saw with Avengers and Ultron and all of that leading up to Thanos. So I guess that's what James Gunn and them are trying to do, lead up to, I don't know, maybe Metron, maybe Darkseid, maybe Steppenwolf. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Only thing I'm worried about with him is like he like reportedly wants everything to connect, like the video games, the TV shows, and that I just don't think that's a good idea. I feel like each of these should exist in their own universe, kind of like how with the DC animated universe right now we have the Tomorrowverse, I think that's what it's called, and then we have the video games. It's like its own separate thing. I feel like that allows for more creativity, just different stories and stuff, and you don't have to worry about making sure it all makes sense. So yeah, I don't know.
And it is, I know. It's sad. I know it's sad, but at the end of the day, it's what we got. And who knows, how to a year or two from now, we'll be talking that we're going to be saying we glad they did it. Because two things going to happen. We're going to either say we glad they did it, or we wish they would never have done it.
Hey, you'll never get bored as a DC fan. I'm never bored. Every day I go online and there's just news. Every day. It's never a dry day. So it's just the news. It's just the news itself. That's a bit crazy. I'm like, oh my God, this is basically imploding. Like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, they don't listen. The second Wonder Woman movie, you being a woman, what was your take on it?
Oh, I mean, it was awful. It was just not written well. The action scenes were kind of dull. I didn't like Cheetah. I didn't like how they characterized Wonder Woman. I didn't like how they brought back Steve and did that whole thing. I didn't like the main. I just didn't like it. Like there was really little that I liked about that movie. It's like there's no rewatch value, and I feel like that's kind of the same thing with Black Adam. Like there's not a lot of rewatch value, truly. Like if you think about it, what are you gonna go back and rewatch? Maybe the action scenes. Well, you can catch that for free on YouTube. You're not gonna pay $20 to get the movie and watch it again. So it's just there was no rewatch value with 984. So that's kind of the big thing. It was just not good. I was like, all right, we don't need any more of this.
But them connecting everything, it could be done, Sada.
It could. I just don't know if it's a good idea.
That's what they promised us after was it Death Metal, Dark Knight Death Metals? That's what the whole resetting of that was that from now on everything's connected, but it'll be his own version of what it is. So Batman on TV is connected to the comic books, but it's its own version from another universe. So it's like their version of a multiverse, but it's what you get. So that's why they can say some characters look different, some things are the same, but they're different. And that's how they explained it. So if he's going to do that, okay, I can get that because that's what we were promised and never got.
Right.
But if they're going to do something totally different, I don't know. I'm going to have to wait and see. And then give my opinion when it comes out. I literally, that's just how I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah, that's how we got to roll with DC from now on. Looks like Legion said 84 suffered mainly from being boring over everything else. It was just boring. And you can save a bad movie from by being fun as hell. Look at the whole MCU. And I'm like, it's hard to really argue with that because even the worst of the MCU, you can't say you didn't have like a good time, like with some aspect of it. Unless
Mega!
Salute, Al Mega's in the building.
Al Mega, salute, Al Mega.
Yeah, big shout out to the Comic Crusaders.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, son. We got
that.
Yeah, we love Al Mega.
Yeah,
We gotta shout him out when he come on. Yeah,
that's the
we
hump.
gotta give him a big shout out. Yeah, we gotta stop everything and shout Al Mega out.
Uh-oh. Lito's wait. So here's the
Mhm.
question: is the DC gonna still be centered around the Justice League, or does it have to be a focus like that?
It doesn't have to be. I mean, but that's
It
the thing.
doesn't
Like,
have to.
it doesn't have to be, but the problem is they've tried that in the past. You know, we had the Birds of Prey film, we had the Suicide Squad movie to try to have a different angle on the DC universe, and it was, in my opinion, garbage. So
Right.
I don't know. Like, it just, there needs to be better writing, and then you can do whatever you want. You can have whatever focus you want with DC, in my opinion, because their
This is true.
stories and characters are so strong. It just, there just has to be better writing, in my opinion.
It does, and they have to be held accountable for it.
Yeah,
Also as well,
yeah.
you got to remember the Suicide Squad movie. Since James Gunn, well, the first Suicide Squad movie has a cult following, but the second one, a lot of people like,
Hmm.
and they like what James Gunn did. It made them a lot of money, and right now they're at the point to where they want to make money, so they know they got to put out a better product, which is
Yeah,
good for us. That's good for us, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because now they're saying, okay, to put out this better product, we got to cut this movie, cut that movie, cut this person, cut that person, but we're going to give you a better product in return. So, like I said, it's a double-edged sword, and we'll see how well it cuts. We'll see if it does the job, if it's really the formula
yeah.
for making them money and making us happy as consumers.
I don't know. I would like for there to still be a Justice League focus just because of how important that team is. And I feel like it could be done right because we've seen it in animation and stuff. And like when it's done right, it's done right. So I would
That's
like that
true.
focus to still be there, but at this point, I'm down for anything as long as it's written well.
you
So
down, you down for anything right about you
I'm
know? I
down
just
for
want something.
anything. I don't care.
Well, we know you're a fan. I mean, Sada, let's
I
keep the buck. Even our viewers know you are a fan of DC, and so am I.
Yeah.
Um, and we get what you want. You want like look, Marvel fans. I don't care how much they talk about. Oh, we didn't like this movie. And it was okay, but I would have expected
They
this,
still
this,
go
that.
see it.
They still go see it. They still got something to watch. And I iterate back to what you said earlier. It's got rewatch value.
Yeah.
They go back and rewatch it. They're buying them on Blu-ray. They're buying them on DVD. They're buying them
Rewatch.
digitally.
Rewatch. Yep.
Right, and they're rewatching them. They're having watch parties. They're doing whatever. They're dressing up like, and that's what DC wants. That's what
Right.
Warner Brothers wants. They want that same flair, and they can get it, but you got to
They
do it
can.
right.
Right.
Man, you got to do it right. I mean, if we go character by character, Aquaman. What do you think? What's your thing?
I
1 to
think
10.
that movie, I don't know. I feel like there's a
Well,
little
let's make it easy. Well, let's make
Okay.
it easy on you, Sada. Let's make it
Okay.
easy on you.
Okay.
I'll give you the character. You
Okay.
give me your take on it. 1 to 10, and then tell me why. Aquaman.
Okay. Like as far as the DC universe, like
Just the
DC
character.
universe?
Yeah, just
Okay.
the character. Just the
Okay.
character. Just Jason Momoa and
Yeah.
him playing that character. What's your take? What's your take? Not the
mm,
movie, but him playing the character.
Oh, him playing the character.
Yes, and his take.
5 out of 10. 5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Why 5 out of 10?
I think
Yeah.
like he's bringing the energy, but it's just like there's not a lot of depth to Aquaman, really. He's kind of just there. He's like the muscle. He has the one-liners, and that's only interesting for so long. So I could do without him or a different person.
Plus, this guy is so much more interesting. There's so
Way
much more
interesting.
they can do. Imagine.
Yeah, way more interesting. Jason
You
Momoa
have
to
a
me
whole Lobo
would
verse.
right. He would. He seemed like he would play a better Lobo.
I think.
Yeah,
So.
I think his energy it just fits Lobo to me. I don't know. I'm surprised that he wasn't that way from the start, but I know what they wanted to do with Aquaman. You know, they wanted this isn't your dad's Aquaman.
Right.
So I get it.
And they didn't want
Well,
to do
because
the surfer boy,
you-
the blonde hair, Boy
Nah,
Scout.
you know
surfer boy.
that Reno. That's the problem with Aquaman. That's always been his problem in the
That's
DC
always the
universe as
problem.
well.
Yeah,
Because
too vanilla.
Aquaman was always he was always portrayed as like one of the Beach Boys, and a lot of people were like damn, like is Aquaman really that dude? Like, and then they chopped his hand off. Right, he was kind of corny. He was like a surfer dude. Then they chopped his arm. They chopped his hand off, He grew his hair long and the beard.
Got his
People loved
long
him.
hair. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
made him a
loved
little
him. They was like,
edgier and
whoa,
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, yeah, he was a little edgier. He was a lot less tolerant. He was like Neymar, but with tattoos and cool. Like he just was
yeah,
like,
long hair.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a biker version. He was a biker surfer dude, and people
Yeah,
loved
pretty
him.
much. I'm like, oh, okay. I think they just took it a step too far with Momoa, so it was just kind of like cringe for me. Kind of watching it. It
Yeah,
was funny, but it was a little cringe, and I could do without it. So
that
that's
makes
fine.
What?
sense.
You mean to tell me you didn't want to see Jason Momoa swimming around with his shirt off?
No, that does nothing for me. That does
Oh,
nothing
I'm just
for me.
saying. It might. You never know. You know that's why they put him underwater because they knew everybody was gonna be wet watching him
Oh,
as Aquaman.
ha!
That was the
Nah.
whole.
Yeah,
That was the whole thing. Aquaman is underwater. You know what I
fans are
mean? So they
pissed
want.
about
Yeah,
Cavill though, bro. They're pissed about Cavill. They blasting Warner Brothers about him reportedly not doing Superman, bro. People are pissed
because
Yeah,
because
I
like,
think
we
they're
got.
false
It's
though. I
sad,
think
Reno.
bro,
they're false.
It's
how do you,
sad, Reno, because we went through all this to get him back, and now you
you
telling us we might
know,
not get him at all. That's bro.
yeah, because
That's it.
that,
Listen, you might as well shoot the president.
Yeah. I don't know why they
That's the
didn't shut
equivalent.
that down immediately because you know that's gonna get the fans riled up. All the work they put in
yeah,
getting him back. Like they should have
Or it
immediately
could
shut
be
that
good
down.
PR. It could be good
That's
PR where they just
true.
keep they leave it in flux and then we all pay attention.
They're like, wait, what's
Watch
going
the
on? What's going
Flash
on?
movie. Watch the Flash movie, and then they say, "Oh, he coming back," and they got
Mm.
us.
But
It's
see,
happening
yeah,
like that right
they
now.
tried to do that with Black Adam. They tried to use that post credit scene as a way to get people to come see the movie. And it's like,
yeah.
that's not enough.
And
That's
his
not going to
cameo,
work, guys.
his cameo in Black Adam, and it brought hope to fans as well. You know, as well as Cavill himself. You know, who's claimed on multiple occasions how much he loves the character. So like, yeah, it gave us a lot. And while negotiations for a contract for Cavill had been underway, fans had been, you know, patiently waiting for any concrete news that, you know, regarding, you know, his return. But it may not look as bright, you know, as once anticipated with these reports coming out. Because after a long line of negotiations, Cavill leaving The Witcher due to his busy schedule and Man of Steel 2 being greenlit. And it would seem as if, you know, all of that quite quickly came crumbling down as the reports stated that he might not be returning. And as excited as everyone has been, you know, this news is like a shocking revelation to fans, but I'm going to be like this. James Gunn is going to start over from scratch. So I may think I love Cavill's Man of Steel, but what he has in store may make me forget all about that. And so I'm going to hold out hope for that because Gunn's direction for, you know, the DCU may seem brutal at first, but upon further inspection it makes sense as to why he would be forced to make such a decision. And an important aspect of what ties the DCU to the DCEU is the Snyderverse. So as much as they would want to run away from it, something or the other would always linger and hold them back from moving on. And essentially, Zack Snyder's influence in the franchise started with Henry Cavill and Superman. So to move away from his influence and in order to give rise to a newer, more structured vision, it would be wise to get rid of anything that might create controversies and remove the aspect of competing with their own selves. But fans don't like the idea right now of Cavill being out. And, you know,
They did it once. They did it once already.
they did it.
When
They did it already, you know, and Cavill's fans, as well as
what's
Zack
his name?
Snyder's supporters, have come out on Twitter. The boy said, this dude said, DC is dead. Gunn is going. He said Gunn isn't going to make much of a difference, in my opinion, especially since the public didn't really care much for his Suicide Squad. But nah, I think that
He didn't.
it's
He didn't
rebirth
care.
phase.
He didn't care about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He didn't give it. You know what I mean?
because
So that you can't say that, man. Like they did
yeah,
it with Brandon Roth. When Brandon Roth played Superman, they wanted to go in a new direction, and that's how we got Cavill. There was nothing wrong with Brandon Roth. He could have been Superman in Man of Steel. but they wanted to. But you got to remember what Man of Steel is. Man of Steel is based in reality. It's always been based in reality. Superman wears a beard. He goes to
Yeah.
work. He has an apartment with Lois Lane. He pays rent. All the unrealistic things that we don't see in the Superman comics, action comics, and all that. You see that in Man of Steel. It explores Superman as a character, his humanity plus his alien side. So like I got it when they said Man of Steel. When I immediately heard before the movie came out, I said, "Oh," I said, "Wait a minute, that's based more on reality because that's a comic." It was,
Yeah.
and that's what it was. So
Hmm.
Superman, when you have that
That's
title,
why I
it's
loved
more
it. That's
comic,
why I loved it.
right? And a lot of people are like, well, why is it called Man of Steel? Because that's what they want. That's the direction they wanted to go in. The direction of the comic. Man of Steel is one of Superman's more popular comics. People love Man of Steel. They loved it. Bringing that to the screen, I get it. But Cavill was a good choice for Man of Steel. Brandon Roth just wasn't.
He was good. And maybe
And
maybe taking Cable down out of there and maybe this new vision for DC isn't going to have Superman as its main attraction. And
right,
maybe that
right.
will be a maybe that's a new way that they could go to make things interesting and
Or we
maybe
know maybe they're going back to Superman. Maybe they're going back to Superman. So you need a different character to play
uh, right,
Superman than you do Man of Steel. Maybe they might be doing an Action Comics version because
right.
Gunn is no furious. He's notorious for that. He's notorious for digging deep, giving you comics, deep comic book lore. And when you look at Suicide Squad, a lot of those characters, those are some deep comic book characters. Like you got to be hardcore.
Yeah.
Bloodsport, come on, that's hardcore. That
They're
is
even they're
hardcore.
and they're even talking about cutting Cable's scenes out of the Flash movie. I
Right.
mean,
That's what I said. That's what I was saying earlier. The word on the street is if he's in this movie, this Flash movie, and they don't cut
yeah,
those scenes, we know
yeah,
Cavill's good to go for the. But if they cut him out of that Flash movie, we know he's done. It's a
yeah.
wrap.
This is
That's the
Cable's
word on the street.
yeah, Cable's apparent
Oh man.
cameo in the upcoming flick may be erased from the books completely. Sources
Yeah. So
stated that
that's
there is currently a debate going on back at DC Studios as to whether the cameo should be kept or not. And this comes after it was reported that the Man of Steel actor had already shot part of his cameo in September. Apparently, the reason behind the ongoing debate is fake promises. The studios do not want to show something in the movie which will ignite further hope in the fans and will promise something the studios have no plans of acting upon. But there is no need to panic as of now, guys, because as an insider has stated that whatever confusion is going on at the studios has been all talk till now. No plans have been finalized, no announcements have been made, and this is all very much, just people being anxious and
right. That's what I was saying
run with
earlier.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're
That's
we
what I was
still
don't
saying
know.
waiting on
earlier. We don't
that
know. Like I said,
10-year plan.
from
We're
yeah,
still
from
waiting on
what I hear, that's what I heard. From what I heard on the digital streets, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, they're just in the air right now. We don't know. But we
Yeah.
do know one thing that they plan on resetting this universe
that.
and they might not make the cut. The
Yeah.
Yeah,
characters
And
that
if
we
the
know,
Trinity
and
doesn't
they'll
make
be
the
recast.
cut, no. I'm all
Well,
for
at
a
least
different direction, but the Trinity's got to be there.
As long as Nicolas Cage doesn't play Superman, I'm good.
It's all good.
yeah, the Trinity may take a back seat and do more stuff like Lobo and other stuff, other characters that they haven't done. And that's typical James Gunn. And so I can see them taking, having the big three take maybe a lesser, position, but definitely not that they
I don't
wouldn't
know if
be
that's a
there.
good idea, but
They just
I don't
might.
know if that's true also. So
Nah,
We don't know. We
I
have no
like
idea. But this is just
what I
these
like
are
about
just like theories and stuff. But The
what I
Rock,
like about James. What I like about James Gunn. Before we move on, is I'm gonna keep it a buck. Is when he does do a movie, the characters are represented in a way that I like. When he did Bloodsport, he updated his costume. It wasn't some cheesy Hollywood dude that has been doing this for 40 years, and he gives us this cheesy 70s looking costume that just I like that, and I like the fact they did Starro. Like you dug deep and did Starro. Like that meant a lot
yeah,
to me as
I
a
did.
DC fan. So
I
like,
fuck with James Gunn, bro. The
right.
Guardians of the
So I
Galaxies are
know,
my favorite part of the MCU. Straight
right.
up, and down,
So
no
I right.
question.
So I know when he does, I know if he does this DC universe the way he wants, we're gonna get characters with costumes that are. I didn't like Black Adam's costume. I liked the movie. I just didn't like the costume. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
That big ass
yeah.
Yeah,
open wide
right.
neckline and shit,
I
bro.
don't
What's going on,
understand.
B?
He always had a wide neckline. I don't understand why the lightning bolt has to look like it almost don't exist. Like I don't get that. Like it's
Yeah,
just like
that was
somebody
kind of
trying to rub it off.
crazy.
Like I'm like, damn, hold on. That's the best part of his
Not
costume.
no,
It's
that
almost like a
He's got that
scratch off. You could just like
see,
scratch it off with
right.
a
Like you can
penny.
scratch it off, right?
see
Yeah,
that
like
that neckline right there. It makes
I can go
sense.
with that.
You're
Right, I
not
can go
looking
with
at
that.
his whole collarbone and shit. This is the
No,
regular
you know, The
neckline.
Rock. Yeah. Hey, do
Right.
you guys notice I work out? Guys, I work out.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, we gotta see your shoulder muscles or whatever it is, B. But like,
Well, the
it doesn't
original
look cool.
costume, looks like that. The original costume has a wide neckline like that.
Yeah,
Does
If
it?
you
I
go
don't
back and look at
necessarily
yeah,
mind that.
yeah,
It was just
yeah,
kind of
go
the
back there.
lightning
Look at
bolt
some
that
pictures of
was
Black
I like
Adam.
this one. I like that
Yeah,
one.
the
I don't
original,
mind either one. It's
original
just that
costume
lightning
looks
bolt was
like that. Yeah,
crazy. And
but
like the lack of a
Shazam,
cape was kind of
yeah,
crazy at first.
like look at Shazam. The same thing they did with Shazam. I don't understand why.
Yeah, what
Like,
does
all
he
right, like
supposed to
Billy
look like? It's been a
Batson.
while since I've looked at him.
Billy Batson is a kid, but he doesn't act like a kid. He's more serious. So even when he changes into Shazam, that's the fun that he has with everybody, is he acts like an adult. But every now and then, just the kid side comes out of him. And so, like, that's the part that they don't get. Like, he'll pout or he'll get mad about something that a kid would get mad about. And the
Yeah,
heroes will be looking at him like, are you serious right now? You're acting like a little kid. But they
Yeah.
don't know he's a little kid.
right.
And
He'd be
that's the
like, "Oh,
part
wait."
that's right. That's the beauty. But in this, he's a grown man, but he still no, Billy Batson doesn't act like that. He acts like a grown man. That's the whole thing. He's pretending. Like he's putting on a facade. Like he really has the ultimate alter ego because he has to act like an adult around a bunch of adults. And he's not an
Mhm.
Right.
adult. So there's certain things he might slip up and say, or he might get with some of the younger heroes and be like, yo, I like to hang with them. Like, yo, you guys are cool. And he'll start talking like a kid. And then the younger heroes will look at him like, right? They'll be like, really? Like, and
Like
he'll be
what?
like, oh, they'll be like, oh yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, kind of how they did
you
him in
know,
Young Justice. I liked how they did him there.
that's
Yeah,
how Billy Baston is. That's how Shazam is.
yeah,
But when it comes to getting down, he can get down. He's not a weakling. He knows how to, he can handle himself pretty
Mhm.
well. His biggest flaw is that he doesn't if he was like Black Adam and knew the full potential of his power, Superman even said it, he could beat me hands down. But because he doesn't know how much power he truly has, I always have just that little bit of edge on him because of that. Now,
Yeah.
Black Adam against Superman, that's a tough fight for Soup. Soup might not win that. Soup ain't coming out of that. He ain't coming out of that. He ain't coming out of that too good.
yeah. And what's his name didn't he have something in his contract saying he can't lose a fight anyway? So, the Rock.
Who,
Yeah,
Rock?
yeah. Doesn't he
Yeah,
have
so
something like?
we can't do that.
Well, The Rock says that he tweeted and he did his tweet. He's like pissed. He's like, listen, guys,
Oh,
straight up and down.
here we go.
We waited to confirm the franchise before I shared this. Excellent Black Adam news. Our film will profit between 52 million and 72 million. Fact. At almost 400 million worldwide, we're building our new franchise step by step. First Captain America did 370 million for the DC future.
I don't even know why he mentioned Captain America. That film came out over a decade ago, and its budget was lower than your budget. So
Yeah,
that doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
A lot of people don't.
Captain America had
A
the
lot of people
advantage
don't.
of being a really well-known top tier character, and Black Adam
That's
doesn't have that
true.
advantage.
It doesn't have
I
that
mean,
advantage.
but I don't know
And
because at
people,
that time he wasn't necessarily top tier. Phase one, no, he was on the same level as Iron Man as far as that. Like, because they were both, I
Yeah,
would say
people
they were
didn't
both
know
like
yet.
B-list, C-list. The strongest people they had phase one was the Incredible Hulk. And then down the line, of course, the idea of the Avengers. But I don't know. He like that just comparison just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well,
Deadline is reporting that Black Adam will turn a profit of about 52 million or more when all the revenue factors are taken into account, and the movie is expected to make 390 million in theaters worldwide against a production cost of 195 million and a marketing spend of as much as 100 million. With all of that combined, Black Adam could make a net profit of between 52 and 72 million. Deadline reported. And you can see the the P&L sheet for Black Adam over at Deadline if you want to check that out. But The Rock, as Black Adam does appear to be a theatrical flop, according to Variety, the movie could lose 100 million. So he's saying no. So we'll have
He's
to
just
see
trying
in the
to
end.
save
But
face.
I mean,
he's
if
trying
you
to
release
say,
it,
of course,
listen,
he's gonna say
but then
no.
they
But
released it. Look how fast it came to video.
Yeah,
Should never even
and,
put it in the
and
movies if it's gonna
yeah,
come
that
out
was
video.
crazy.
yeah, because like
Another thing, too.
it was on the site, like the bootleg site. You could see the bootleg, and then like a couple of weeks later, it was you could see the
Once
whole
it go
thing in HD.
right,
And
but Reno,
but
what
it's
I
not
always
on
tell you,
HBO Max or anything yet, so I don't know
no,
Yeah,
no,
where.
that's
but
not coming till
it's
I think this
no,
month.
they
Actually,
released it. This is what they did. They released it digitally, so you could go on like PlayStation, buy it and watch it. Xbox, buy it and watch it. You can go on
That's
like
where it's coming
Xfinity,
from.
right? Because I got Xfinity, so I can go on. Matter of fact, you can go on YouTube and buy it and watch it. You can
yeah,
rent it.
it's coming
You
on
can rent it on
HBO
it.
Max in 6 days. It's coming on
Right.
HBO Max in 6 days. Like
And
that's
that's
so
the yeah.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
that's their now once you get on HBO Max, you're gonna see a picture perfect copy on the bootleg market. It's just what it is. I mean, it's a good copy on there now, but it's gonna be a picture perfect copy on there in a minute.
HD 4K. Like, yeah.
And
I
I don't watch and I only watch movies in 4K.
I mean, I guess I'm glad the movie's making a profit for him, but it's just like those numbers as a viewer, that means really nothing to me because the film is still a flop failure, unfortunately. Like that's just what it is. Like you don't have to compare it to the MCU, you don't even have to compare it to the other DCU films, just on its own.
I mean, you can't call it a flop failure because
it was a flop
did.
failure. Absolutely. Not cracking 500 million. That's not okay.
That's crazy. That's a
not
crazy number. Think about how much The Rock
it should have no.
movie that's made that much money
was touted
what about
as
Black
the
Panther?
savior of
What
the
about
DCU.
Black Panther?
Yeah,
I get it. I get that it didn't meet. I get that it didn't meet what they, said it was gonna meet. But
right.
a flop is when it made $50 million. Like this thing made 400 million. That's not a flop by any stretch of the imagination.
That's a
now
flop.
compared to other superhero movies or compared to what they wanted to do. But look at what other movies turn in. Other movies don't make this much money. Other movies are lucky to make 180 million. I mean,
yeah, but this is still a flop for a movie of this magnitude.
Do you think Black Panther made that much?
Right. Well, I mean, but a flop means that the movie failed at the box office. No one saw it.
It failed.
People saw this
I believe
movie.
it failed.
A lot of people saw this movie, but so far it's earned 385 million worldwide. And the box office experts told Variety that the film likely won't be able to cross the 400 million. But as a result, Black Adam could lose between 50 and 100 million dollars. And then in that case, yeah, it would be. But not everyone agrees with the estimate, though. And his sources are, within Warner Brothers told Variety that Black Adam would break even at 400 million. And Black Adam's theatrical performance is just one element of its overall profitability profile. The film has already overperformed projections for its home video release.
And that's wonderful. But the theater, it failed. It was a flop failure, period. In my opinion. I believe it was a flop failure in the theater.
But wait a minute, Sada, this is after, this is post-COVID too. Because I remember we went to the movies a lot more before COVID.
I just don't. It's a
Black
failure.
Panther. I mean, look, Black Panther already made 600 million worldwide. It's already at 400 million.
And that's that's post-COVID. So what's the excuse? Like, there's no excuse.
Okay, well, The Rock is a big celebrity. The Rock's a big celebrity. He's done a lot of like Fast and Furious movies that are huge, right? But he's still none of his movies have made this much. This has made more money than any movie The Rock has ever done.
And that's wonderful, but that doesn't change, in my opinion, that the film itself is a failure. Like, in my opinion, financially in the theater, it's a flop failure. In my opinion, that's just how I feel.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Because people have different definitions of what that means. But I mean, any film's ancillary revenue, that is money, that it makes outside of theaters, is now more profitable thanks to films having generally shorter periods of time in theaters. And with these ancillary revenues added up to 35 million from home video sales. But Black Adam will turn a profit and there is the inevitable HBO Max release that will help expand the film's profile and bring
What
it
is
to more
his?
viewers and more players.
All right, now what is his? But what has he grossed? Because I know his most successful movie is Fast 7. That's The Rock's
Is it?
highest grossing movie. Yeah, that's his highest grossing movie. So, and I think it's like I don't know, 100. I don't know. I forget. It's like I
Yeah,
forget how
Fast
many
7 I
millions of
think hit
dollars
like
it
a
is.
billion, I think,
Yeah,
in the
Fast 7.
theaters.
Because
Yeah.
I know the highest grossing now. Avatar is what, like Avatar made like what 2 billion or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something
And we
crazy
ain't
like
seen
that.
Avatar. We get Avatar next week, and we ain't seen Avatar in 10 years. I mean, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? So,
they say that his highest grossing movie is Black Adam, which
so that'd
Yeah.
be right now, right?
Furious
So,
7
so
is a
we
billion.
Yeah. I mean, because
yeah,
that's really more of an ensemble movie. That's not necessarily his movie. So I understand why
but
that's
that
not
was the
really
highest. I
included.
know that's the highest.
Um,
That's the highest grossing film that Rock has played in.
yeah,
Was
definitely.
that,
Yeah, and then he did
and
the
that's his
Manoa
highest grossing
or
film, right?
Moana
That's his highest
with
grossing film.
643 million at the Moana movie, and that counts. I mean, then he's got Fast 6 and Fast 5, and Fast 5 made 662 million.
Yeah.
So
It's more
I don't
so
know
an ensemble
why they're
film.
saying Black Adam is his highest grossing movie. I don't know what they mean by that.
Yeah, I guess I
They
don't
keep
know
saying
because
it
like
though.
maybe his like solo, like he's like the
Maybe it's
star, the
he's
face of the
making the
movie.
most.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
maybe
Right.
the
his
Because
Fast
I know
movies that
those.
was like an ensemble
Those
thing.
are
So
right. Those are his highest grossing films. The Fast movies before
Mhm.
Black Adam. So those are his
Yeah,
highest grossing films. Those
that's why
two
I don't know
films
why
that
they
he
keep
was in,
saying that shit.
right?
yeah,
Yeah, those are his highest two grossing films.
it's a little
But
weird.
he was a breath of fresh air for that film series. I'm gonna give it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a
Oh
buck.
yeah, for
I
Fast,
like Fast.
absolutely,
Right. Oh, I like Fast,
absolutely.
but Rock was just Rock was a
Yeah,
good.
he they
He was
needed him for the Fast Five. Like it was just he was perfect for, like you said, to give it a fresh, refreshing take. Like it was needed. He was great.
All right, let me see. So the Rock's movies have made more than 5 billion combined. Here are the highest grossing films. Why did they say that? 130 million. Okay, the movie, yeah, Black Adam. What's the other character? The movie is Johnson's first project in DC. Performance.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because it's like this movie is like his pet
Mm.
project. He's like the face of it. I don't know. Maybe that's why they're saying that. I
because
don't know.
a lot of people know if you get the right role in a superhero movie right now in today's society,
Yeah,
you
you're
man,
up there.
you gonna make
And
some money.
Wait.
it's got over
You gonna
a
make some money.
90% audience score. So a 90% audience score and like a 30% critic score is crazy. And that goes back to what equals a good movie. Is it a movie that you just had fun watching and you had a good time and you had the most fun? Or is it the movie that you can analyze and pick apart the lighting and the cinematography and the
I
Right,
script,
mean,
the
right.
everyone's
nuances,
definition of
and
a
like
good movie is different because everyone looks at a film differently. So,
exactly right,
That's
um,
true. But
right.
that's
and
what I was telling you
that's why
earlier.
there's
So I was
often
like, listen,
discrepancies with audience scores and critic scores.
right.
They just look
And
at
that's
films
why I told
differently.
you earlier, Sada. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna stop the. I'm just going to just what it is. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, ain't no in between. I either like it on my couch or I like it in the theater. And we all know if I like it on my couch, we all know what that means. But if I gotta go to the movies and see it, then we know it's a damn good movie, and you better go to the movies and see it too. So, but if I don't want to see it at all, I'm just gonna keep it a buck from now on because I liked Black Adam. I thought it was a good movie. It will make it into my video collection, and I know, and Reno knows I have a very vast video collection. It
It
will be
was
there.
fun. I
It
mean, yeah,
was
it
fun to
was a
watch,
fun
bro.
movie.
Yeah, I
I
can't take
dug it.
nothing away from it. All
I
right,
had a good time
I
watching
think
it.
it
Black
was
I
okay.
Panther.
can't lie about
Black
that.
Panther was fun to watch. I liked it. Uh, I mean, if I had to go with any superhero movie, and I said it was just enjoyable on my couch, there's a couple, man. But for the most part, everybody likes to pick these movies all the way apart. You take them for what they are, and you like them, or you just don't. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pick apart a movie like Cisco and Ebert used to do, and then the audience loved it. They picked it apart, but the audience loved. Like Highlander is a perfect example. The first Highlander movie, if you go back, you can watch it on YouTube. They dogged the movie. We didn't like it. We thought the script was bad. It was this, the acting. It was a cult classic. People loved it. it spawned 4 sequels that were more horrible than the original. And the original was good.
Mm-hmm.
All the sequels got bad reviews. They were horrible. But the original was good, and they gave it the worst reviews. So it goes to show you the critics, that's just their opinion, man. Audience, you don't have to listen to their opinion. You can take it with a grain of salt and go see for yourself.
Watch the movie and see what you think.
Right. That's what I do. I listen to what they say. I go see for myself, and then I say, you know what? They were wrong. I liked it.
I don't even listen to what they say. I go see the movie first. I have my opinion, and if it happens to align with the critics, then so be it. If it doesn't,
Thank you. If it doesn't, then
that's just what it is.
Right. But I'm not gonna pick no movie apart. I'm not gonna sit there and pick a movie apart and be like, oh, they could have did this. Listen.
Well, I definitely will, because that's just how we just view films differently, and that's fine.
No. I get, but see, the reason why I say that is because I can pick anything apart. I can go to a restaurant and say, well, you could have made this, you could have cooked this a little harder, or you could have made that a little softer. Or I could watch a TV and say, well, that might, but everybody's different. If everything was the same in this world, this would be a boring world to live in. So some stuff is going to be better, some stuff is not, but that depends on the risk taking. When it comes to a film, it's a risk take for every film ever made. And nobody knew Avatar was going to make $2 billion.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It came out of left field. I didn't even know.
And Titanic.
Titanic, same thing. Came out of left field. We don't know. But I will tell you one thing. You give us a good product, we're going to come see it. Star Wars. Nobody knew Star Wars was going to be as big as it was. And that's a fact.
Shit.
You can actually know that.
Star Wars.
Yes.
Well,
facts, Reno. Cool. Nobody knew Star Wars was actually supposed to be sort of like a B film for the summer, and they didn't expect it to make a lot of money. They just was like, I got a chance to make this movie. I'll make a little cash. You know what I mean? I'm good. It's a good B film for the summer. But it wound up being one of the most prolific movies in the history of this world.
Yeah, because the guys that got together that George Lucas pulled in to do the special effects, ended up becoming what we know today as Industrial Light and Magic, the company that's pretty much changed the game in special effects and given us all the special effects, and pretty much set the standard. And those guys weren't a company before Star Wars. In fact, all of them weren't even they didn't even work on movies. Some of them were just hobbyists that
they didn't even like each other.
Hey, I'll help you. And like they didn't even know each other.
They didn't even like each other, Sada. They didn't even like each other. They didn't even like to make movies.
Make that work.
Yeah. But speaking of Star Wars, I'm glad you brought that up because we just saw the Game Awards the other day. And Jedi
do we have the trailer? Is what I want to know.
You know that we do, because the story of Cal Kestis
release the hounds
in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a third person, my favorite type of game, galaxy-spanning action-adventure game from Respawn Entertainment, developed in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games. The narratively driven single-player game picks up 5 years after the events of the first one, which is Jedi Fallen Order, and follows Cal's increasingly desperate fight as the galaxy descends further into darkness. Pushed to the edges of the galaxy of the Empire, Cal will find himself surrounded by threats, new and familiar. And as one of the last surviving Jedi Knights, Cal is driven to make a stand during the galaxy's darkest times. But how far is he willing to go to protect himself, his crew, and the legacy of the Jedi Order? The trailer is so dope. I mean, goddamn. Let me pull this up for you guys. You're gonna shit lightsabers. Here we go. All right. And I will say I turned up the what do you call it, the pitch, so I might sound a little chipmunky, but that's because so BoobTube doesn't cut us off.
The order is gone. I was betrayed by the one I trusted most. I will not be imprisoned again. I hear you've been busy making yourself the Empire's most wanted.
Woo!
seen how he held the stormtrooper and made him shoot? That was crazy.
Remind our friend here why his guns are supposed to be dead.
Cutscene right into gameplay.
All we've done. The Empire's only grown stronger.
Woo!
Thanks, bud. For the Jokers.
Swear to God, he said, thanks, blood.
The Jedi is a threat. Now that we have this, as long as we fight, hope survives.
Good God Almighty! A couple of new mechanics there. You've got the force
They use
power
the
where
stormtrooper as a shield.
yeah, where he
mechanic.
used him as a shield and used the Jedi mind trick to make him fire the gun. So he was like spraying the Tommy gun or the Gatling
Yeah, I
gun
like
using
that.
the beautiful. And then he did the one where he freezes the laser beams and force pulls the bad guy into the frozen shot. That's cool. But
That's
yeah,
a
lot
new
of
one.
cool-
Yeah.
And he's
'Cause
got
no-
the new
'cause
lightsaber.
before-
He's got the Kylo Ren with the handle with the two
Oh, the duel. Yeah.
dual pipes.
'Cause
that
remember,
come
we
off the
all-
side. You know, like
now
Kylo's.
Kylo only did that because, from what I read, when he made his lightsaber and he turned it red, the crystal, he cracked the crystal or something like
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah,
why
it's
that's why his joint looks
had
jagged.
exhaust ports.
Right, and he
Those
had to
are
make the
exhaust
exhaust
ports.
ports to stabilize it. Yeah.
It's funny. It's
so-
cool how Star Wars takes shit that they obviously do as a design choice, and then they make up some scientific reason. Like the TIE Fighter. The TIE Fighter was a spaceship that looks like a bow tie, necktie, and that's why they nicknamed it the TIE Fighter.
The
But
TIE
then they
fighter.
changed that
It's not.
twin ion engine, TIE. Twin ion engine is a completely made up thing, but that's their reasoning for why it's called the TIE Fighter. The truth is obviously that it looks like a bow tie.
Right.
And they do shit like that, but that's cool how they do. I like that. That's cool. And
No, I like that too.
yeah,
Because the only person we've ever saw block a phaser blast or stop one is Kylo Ren, but we know
Right.
Vader did it. From what I read, Vader always did it because Vader had his hand chopped off. When you notice when Vader would stop, it would always be with his prosthetic. He never did it with the hand that he had. He
Yeah.
always did it with the prosthetic.
Yeah.
But the prosthetic he made able to do that. It was able to deflect phaser fire. It might have been made out of Beskar from what I read, things like that. But
Kylo's
his
the first
prosthetic-
one to freeze the
right
laser.
to just freeze it. Yeah,
in the
like
air.
we saw, he just
Yeah.
like hold up, and like where you going?
yeah.
And just stop the
And-
joint. So yeah,
Yeah, because it sucks, man, because the sequel trilogy has some really cool shit in it.
it does.
I can't
I
take it
agree.
away. It's got some really
I
cool
agree.
shit in it. But the scripts and what they did with Luke and the whole thing, I mean, it sucks ass, but it's got some cool shit. Like when the Emperor rose the fleet of Star Destroyers out of the desert sand, which was like a throwback to Yoda lifting the X-Wing out of the swamp. But the Emperor is showing you like this ain't no X-Wing in the swamp. This is 1,000 fucking Star Destroyers under the ground that he just lifted up. Crazy power. You know, shit like that was cool, but the Emperor shouldn't have fucking been there in the first place because we know he's dead. Like he died. Like his
Right.
body was burned up in the bottom of the goddamn Death Star, which exploded. There's no way he came back. And if he did, it would have been like his head, period. Like that they should have, if they were going to use that, they shouldn't have, had his whole body come back, because that was the whole point that George Lucas wanted you to know. He's dead. He's not coming back. He's like electricity. He tosses him down this thing, and the fire down there, and then the whole thing explodes into vapor. The Emperor's dead. They wanted to make sure you knew that because he was not supposed to come back. So shit like that, that ruins the sequel trilogy. But there's so much cool stuff. It's a shame. It's a real shame that Ryan Johnson got his hand on it and J.J. Abrams didn't know what the fuck he was doing. It's sad.
And he snuck that one in there because Snoke, from what I heard, Snoke wasn't supposed to die until the third movie. And they weren't even supposed to reveal who Snoke was. And he killed Snoke. So they had to come up with something for the third movie, which put their backs against the walls.
Exactly.
And I think that's just lame. So Hollywood, you got to be a little smarter. You got to stop being so.
I mean, Hollywood ain't that smart.
They're not. I agree.
But it is DC Power Hour, and I've got some good news for the DC fans because Rocksteady Studios took to the Game Awards yesterday as well to show off the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game that looks dope. And we're talking about Kevin Conroy's Batman. I mean, this could be peak. I mean, I think this is the Arkham Asylum universe. Is Conroy's Batman. It is an off-delayed action game, but it did contain a new scene. But the trailer opened with Batman's shadowy antics, and after a short scene with the Flash, a brainwashed Batman drops into the scene, and it cuts. But then it plays Conroy's iconic voice. You hear him before,
and it says "Thank you."
He said and confirmed that the belated actor would be reprising the role for the game. So that's dope. And the trailer wrapped up by thanking Conroy for all the years of playing the Dark Knight. But the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League also finally got its release date, and that will be May 26, 2023 for PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC as well. So that's cool. But I'll be getting it on the PS5. But the trailer's dope.
I just hope Reno is it's on Unreal Engine 5.
Let's check it out.
I'm tired of stuff being on 4. Give us 5.
I know, right? Next gen, baby.
I know.
All right, flash is clear. Keep your eyes on it, people. Somebody find the back entrance.
This door will not hold. We must barricade it.
You stay here, pal.
See this? I spent a lot of time dreaming up how I was gonna kill you with it. You're mine now, and you're in for a world of... Ah, shit!
Is that the Flash's finger?
Hey, boys! We were just having a
I
little...
say, shush. You hear that?
Hey, Bruce! Still using shadows to scare the crap out of us criminals, huh? Don't sweat it. Batman doesn't kill people. Are you okay?
Dead in a motherfucker.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
That would have sounded so much cooler if I didn't have to raise the pitch, but that was Conroy's voice. And so he'll be Batman during the game. I don't know how much he's in the game. I don't think you play as him at all. It's definitely a Suicide Squad game where you play as the Suicide Squad and you're actually fighting the Justice League. But yeah, it looked like he cut Flash's finger off with that boomerang.
Yeah, that's
He was
what.
like
Yeah,
shrinking in a little
I'm
nubbin.
very excited for this game.
yeah. I was trying to figure
Hell
out what.
yeah.
At first, I thought it was his eyeballs or something. I was like, what the heck? And I was
Yeah.
looking. I was like, what is that? Like,
Something. Something of Flash's person.
yeah,
I'm
something
very
came out.
excited for this game.
Yeah, something came up.
It's always
Well,
nice when you get to go against the Justice League. Give them a taste.
yeah.
It's always fun. I don't know. I love them, but it's always fun to go against them.
Yeah, it's fun. It is. It's fun. That's why I like, I like games where you play as the bad guy. It's just fun sometimes to be the bad guy. Like Knights of the Old Republic 2, where you can be a Sith, and like I love those Star Wars games where role-playing games where you could choose to like go to the dark side or go to the light side. I'm always making the dark side choices because it's so fun to be a bad guy in the game because there's no consequences, and so you get to go all out. But that's what's going on, man. Right now, my oh, real quick, one last thing. An unannounced Batman movie starring Michael Keaton has reportedly been scrapped at DC after rumors started swirling about this new Batman movie starring Keaton getting scrapped by DC News. Hounds began sniffing around for answers about the unannounced project, and according to the Hot Mic podcast's Jeff Snyder, the Flash writer Christina Hodson was in the process of writing a spinoff revolving around Michael Keaton's Batman. And the spinoff would have served as a reboot with Keaton playing an older Bruce Wayne, mentoring a new Caped Crusader. But after digging, the Rap's Humberto Gonzalez said that Hodson's script was for an adaptation of Batman Beyond, a
Yes, I
story
heard that as well.
Yeah.
I heard
with
that as well. Yeah.
Dark Knight. And so it would have been like in the comic or the game or the cartoon, I think it is, where Batman Beyond is being sort of tutored by the original Bruce Wayne. And that would have been cool, but we need to learn more to know how deep into the project Hudson was before DC pulled the plug on this curious endeavor. But naturally, DC Studios and Warner Brothers Discovery remain mum on the matter, which neither confirms nor denies the project was happening at any time. We know that under the old guard, Keaton was looking to reprise his role as Bruce Wayne across several projects in the coming years, like Flash and things like that. But could Batman Beyond have been one of these many planned appearances? We don't know, but it's common for cinematic universes to have an overseer like a Nick Fury for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Keaton's Bruce Wayne would have easily fit the mold for that sort of fatherly thing, and given his practice of working in the shadows and gathering vital intel on heroes and villains, he's probably got terabytes of disturbing information about everyone in the DCU stored on his Bat computer. But before DC canceled the film, Keaton played a part in Batgirl, which I know Stu is heartbroken.
I'm gonna get it.
Biggest advocator.
I'm gonna get it. Listen, I'm gonna
According
come
to
on
the
the show
studio,
one day.
Stamp.
Review Batgirl. I'm gonna come on the show one day and I'm gonna review Batgirl. When you see the thumbnail, know that I got a copy off the web and I saw it.
Stamp.
Somebody gonna leak it. Somebody gonna leak it. Reno, I'm telling
I
you,
hope
bro.
so.
It's coming.
The studio says it'll never see the light of day, but somebody might sneak it and leak it. That would be cool. But many fans were baffled by DC's decision to scrap that movie based on star power alone. And it's not every day Michael Keaton, J.K. Simmons, Leslie Grace, and Brendan Fraser go to Gotham City. But news of the film being canceled, shocked the project's directors, Adil El Arbi and Bilal Falah. The duo says that they'll be willing to work with DC again, even after the cancellation, but their future at the studio remains uncertain. I don't know. What do y'all think about them canceling a allegedly Batman Beyond movie featuring Keaton as the grizzled Bruce Wayne?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Like nobody
Yeah,
was
wow.
clamoring for that. Like I mean, I
Damn.
love
Ah.
I love the idea of Batman Beyond. I love the show and everything. I just
Mm.
feel like with the state of the universe, like where would that have fit in? Like literally where? Like we barely have a Batman present within the universe, and then we're
Right.
gonna get Old Man Bruce, and now a new like it felt so out of place. So I'm fine with it. I don't think anyone was really clamoring for that anyways. So maybe down the line though, we can revisit that. Yeah, absolutely.
That's true. That's true. Well, me, I don't know, man. If it's something that never came to light, I don't care.
Yeah,
I
it's
ain't
just
gonna
like I
lie.
don't
If
know.
it
I
never
don't
came to
care.
light, I don't care. Yeah. I mean, am I a little disappointed? Yeah, because who knows what we'd have got.
Right.
But as far as like for it to make a big difference in my no.
No.
That girl, yeah, because you
That's
filmed
different.
it. Right, you filmed it, it was
Yeah.
done, edited the whole 9 yards, and then you canceled it. I'm more upset about that than I ever will be about Batman Beyond.
Right.
Real quick,
You gonna find it.
before we end the show, because I do have to end the show, but this is hilarious. You're gonna love this one, Sada. This guy in Denmark said, I think the Flash is going to be one of their first true runaway hits. A huge part of that will be the Keaton factor. He's a force as Batman. Nothing makes me more disappointed to hear someone lined up his own movie before Gunn torched it like everything else. I hope to see Keaton on the other side of whatever the future is, but I realize with each piece of information, he may only get the film. He may only get the one film to get nuts. I
that
feel
film
bad.
is not coming out. And I'm ready to get that quote because I still believe we're never seeing that movie.
If
So
we
so
do,
you
it's
stamping
not
it.
going to be their first true runaway hit. That's
Yeah.
a wow. But anyway,
Oh
yeah, I do.
no.
Yeah.
I heard
It's sad.
reports that film was like a No Way Home type of situation. So,
Yeah,
oh boy, they're really putting it out there like this film is great. And since they moved up the release date, they must be confident about it for whatever reason.
we shall see. But
We shall
that's our
see.
hour and 15-minute mark, guys. So we'll be back Monday. You already know, unless I have the COVID. I don't know. Family member has it in the house, so I may be sick by Monday. We'll see. But if not, we'll see you guys Monday at 6:30, and then Wednesday at 6:30. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, guys. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that like button. And guys, if you're a fan of the channel or if you're a loyal follower, please give us a comment down in the comment section. It really helps the channel. All right, guys. Good night. Peace. I says peace. I says peace.
Peace.